Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Izzy Cinema Escape on YouTube. I'm your host Izzy. For anyone who isn't new to the channel and just happen to find it through the search engine on YouTube, feel free to hit the subscribe button and spread the word if possible. For anyone who isn't new, thank you for continuing to spread the word, and I hope you guys get to enjoy my work. Today's review is based off the 1990 childhood classic that is a part of popular culture and has been for an exponential number of years, and it is the 1990 Ninja Turtles. Now, this is a film that I grew up watching almost every single day, and I can remember when my dad took me to see it on opening night when we lived in Germany, and it was just a packed full of theater of parents bringing their kids to watch this film, as they knew that kids our age at that time had a massive obsession with the Ninja Turtles. I'm talking about the action figures. I can remember playing the first Ninja Turtles on regular Nintendo, then the Ninja Turtles arcade game on Nintendo, the same Nintendo console. Then of course you had Ninja Turtles Hyper Stone Heist, Turtles in Time. It was just one of those. Ninja Turtles was literally inescapable through a myriad period of years, and they are very much cemented within popular culture. And of course, who can forget the animated series? The film is, from what and granted, I have not read the comic books that was written by Kevin Eastman and was created by the Mirage Studios. The comics and the film, based on from what I understand, share a lot of similarities of one another, given how the comics has a much more darker, grittier and brutal feel to it, along with a lot more of emotional elements compared to the sequels of Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze and Ninja Turtles 3. This film in particular when you think about it in retrospect, it played it relatively unsafe for that time period, because fans and parents at that time were not necessarily used to seeing the Ninja Turtles as such a dark, gritty New York setting. And I can remember when I watched this film at the time as a kid, I didn't really pay too much attention to the overall details of the film and how violent it was for that year. It wasn't until I started doing research much later on when I started really getting into critiquing film and reading about the Ninja Turtles and the production, and how parents at the time were very, I guess, shocked at the fact that it was such a violent film that was catered to kids, and which you saw the change in tone and change in action with Secret of the Ooze in the third film. Ninja Turtles 1990, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990, is the film that has our favorite Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, that is mentored by Master Splinter, Hamato Yoshi, and they're battling this criminal ninja organization that is led from the shadows by Hiroko Saki, who they're finding that there's a common enemy with one another, and they're not exactly sure how to combat that particular enemy. And it's, when you think about it from all retrospect, and also it stars Judith Hogue. I'm not sure I pronounced her last name right, but Judith Hogue as April O'Neil, then Elias Cotis as Casey Jones, the vigilante. This film is still one of my favorite childhood films of all time. I mean, it is by far just one of those type of films that has a certain magical touch to it that simply cannot be replicated, and it also helps that you have the late great Jim Henson, who provided the puppeteer work very innovative to this, and still to this very day I have yet to see any type of convincing puppeteer act that provides that sense of realism to the overall concept that allows you to emotionally connect with these characters that are appearing on a big screen in the form of turtles. And I still, to this very day, will always cherish the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film because of how special and emotional it is. It's what's missing, especially when I think about the later films that came, the Michael Bay produced films. This particular story allows you to connect with the Turtles on an emotional level, and it's very interesting to see how there's a lot of hard-hitting lessons within this film, the stories, and how the characters have to relate to one another and be able to confide in one another. And it's interesting because, as I mentioned, you don't really have a lot of that in films these days. It's simply just wham, bam, thank you, and that's it. Films of even in the 80s and the 90s, had to have a certain message, and they had to put some type of work in there in order for the characters to be developed. And that's what this film provides, in my opinion, is the fact that it really just touches on all aspects of the Ninja Turtles' existence, and how we're in the end we're supposed to care about the turtles. We care about them within this film, and it's so. There's a lot of moments in the film where it moves me to tears, still to this very day, because it's just that much more. It hits you. It hits you at the very core of your soul. I'm about to talk about a spoiler, but I'm going to assume that everybody has watched this film. But the scene where they all collectively together sitting around a campfire and they're telepathically communicating with Splinter, and it's just such a beautiful moment that moves me. And another scene is where you have Splinter, who was held captive by Shredder, and he's attempted to guide this misguided young man in Danny when he explains to him that all fathers care for their sons. And it's just so monumentally moving that I can never. This in particular will always be one of the greatest Ninja Turtle films for me personally as a fan. The action, what I love about the action is how much, even though it is violent by 1990 standards, especially when it catered to children, it still packs a wallop. It's very realistic. It's fun. It's exciting. And even though there's a lot of cathartic humor in it, it still manages to incorporate what made the animated series Ninja Turtles so popular, while also maintaining a gritty feel to it. And it serves the story. The personalities in the Ninja Turtles is very much reminiscent of their cartoon counterparts. You have Raphael, who is the hothead and outspoken and brash and always willing to jump headfirst into an altercation. You have Leonardo, who is the leader and attempts to hold the brothers together. Then you have Donatello, who is the intelligent, nerdy type. Then you have Michelangelo, who is the party type. He is the kid. He's the little brother. He's the one who doesn't necessarily take anything seriously, but when he does decide to take matters into his own hands and become that serious focal point, he is one of the most popular. He is one of the most disciplined turtles to that extent when he puts his mind to it. But he has such an innocent and beautiful soul that you simply cannot find yourself, want to see anything happen to him in that regard. With Judith Hogue as April O'Neil, she shares an amazing chemistry. With Elias Coates, who plays Casey Jones. Casey Jones was one of my favorite characters growing up as a kid. I loved just how he looked. I love in this film how it reminds me of how he was in the cartoon. Just very down and gritty, outspoken, and just not afraid to get into the mix of things. That shares a very interesting relationship with Raphael. It's just that we do see much later on in the 2007 animated series. Shredder, intimidated. When I think about a villain of Shredder's type that is a ninja, he is everything that you could imagine him to be. Just intelligent, disciplined, hiding within the shadows, doesn't get physically involved until he feels the need to do so. And when he does, that's when you know things are about to go down. The final battle between him and the Ninja Turtles on the top of the roof in New York, still one of the most exciting and realistic and hard-hitting moments of the film. Just bar none, it does everything it needs to do in order to get your adrenaline pumping while hitting on all cylinders, along with the background music that provides that epic sense of a battle that's just nonstop. From all angles of the perspective that I'm talking about when it comes to Ninja Turtles, this is truly an amazing film that I highly recommend. I don't think it's necessarily too bad that for kids to watch nowadays. There's nothing too horrible. It's not bloody. There's hardly any language in it. I mean, again, by 1990 standard, it is violent, but it still doesn't. There's nothing in it that's going to be particularly traumatizing to the mindset of children nowadays, considering that they see and hear far worse in television series now and in video games and films. So it's just one of those things where I will leave it to the better judgment of the parents. That is my opinion of it. When it comes right down to it, my rating of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990, 2 thumbs up, 5 out of 5. Highly recommended. You will not be disappointed. If you have watched the film, please feel free to provide a like and leave a comment on my YouTube or Facebook page. If you haven't watched the film and you want to need something to watch, feel free to watch it. I highly recommend it still. Provide a like and a comment on my Facebook page and YouTube if you want to. That's my review of 1990 Ninja Turtles, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and you will be hearing from me again. Take care, and peace out.